Yep, that was a rant. If you saw my video before this, that was a rant, guys. A real rant. Yeah. Anyways, what's up? What's up? Happy Saturday, people. Oh, I love this cream. Anyways, guys, what can I tell you? It's been a night of spiritual warfare. But I survived it, I survived it. But I hate when these people attack my spirit babies, because I love my spirit babies, I love them. I love children, and they got the audacity. But anyways, so let's see what I'm getting today. For the collective, woo! Thank you, Jesus. I was just thinking of this. Honeymoon. Thinking of not honeymoon, but I was thinking of this. I don't know why. I see Italy, man. I don't know. Enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. Woo! Somebody's getting married. Somebody's getting married here, guys. Woo, mommy. My son's getting happy. My son's such a romantic, man. He cracks me up. The universe is saying, it's time. You're going to find your right person if you have it. Only if you've done the work. Have you done the work? Please do the work, please. When you do the work, you're going to get married. You're going to go on your honeymoon, Not pretty? It's safe for you to love. Open your heart to give and receive the highest energy of all. Yeah, amen, Jesus. So remember the other day, I don't know if you saw my video about the past life, about Scotland and Italy. This is what I'm getting here today again. You guys know you guys know each other from past lives. But here's the thing, this person is not your twin flame, which is kind of nice. I gotta tell you guys, twin flame is such a loop relationship. Oh my God, I never want to be in a twin flame relationship with anybody. Hell no. It's a runner, a chaser, and it's so difficult relationship. Even after you're married, it's still drama. Oh yeah. I always rather be in a soulmate relationship. This person, whoever I'm talking to, and please don't think these stories are mine. I'll tell you if it's mine. I don't know if this is mine. I wish it is. I hope it is. If not, it's okay. But I hope it's somebody's, right? This is a higher level soulmate I'm getting. Am I right, Jesus? He says yes. Woo! You have been together. You have known each other before. So when these people go on like a retreat, just as friends, because they don't really know each other, they just go to this place and they see that house. I've been still thinking about that story. It's been stuck in my mind. That how this emperor, loves an orphan who has no family, who's never had a family, who doesn't even know who her real family is because they abandoned her and she went to foster home. And all of a sudden, one day she's at the market and she meets the love of her life, and she doesn't even know that's the love of her life, but he knows as soon as he sees her from the corner of his eye. And when he sees her and she sees him, she doesn't even know. She's just innocent. She's like, oh, hi. But he has the glow in his eyes and his eyes sparkle. I don't know how you explain that, but they have that shine, Because he could read right through her soul. He could read through her soul. Then they become friends. Forgiving and learning. Yeah. Maybe at this time, whoever I'm talking to, you gotta forgive your past and learn from the past, you know? Maybe the people in your life that were in your life, maybe they were your twin flames, maybe they were your soulmates, but they didn't follow the assignment, let's say, you know? And you learned, and you actually taught them more than you taught yourself, you know, because you already know this stuff, right? Reconciliation. Someone from your past is returning to your life, yeah. This word is so dangerous. Reconciliation. I don't like this word. Like for me, I don't want to reconciliate with anybody in this past life. I don't. In this life, I mean. In my past life, if I haven't met them yet, then yes, I would like to reconciliate. I met people from my past lives already, but I don't want to reconciliate with them this lifetime because I already met them and that contract has expired. And maybe that's your story, you know? You're going to meet somebody from another past life that you have not met this lifetime as yet. You know, and it's retrograde season, so don't be confused. If somebody comes from the past from 5 or 10 or 15 years, that's not the one. Spirit's telling me this is a new one, a new. This is the emperor who built you a house. That one. Express your love. Yeah. It's sad when people have big egos and they choose their big ego instead of love. They think they can buy love from the money they have. But money, I gotta tell you guys, I don't care how much money you got. I don't care if you got millions, billions, trillions. Money cannot buy true, authentic, real, divine love. No. You can have all the money in the world. I'm not saying don't make money. Don't get this twisted now. Yes, you need money to live, but you can't buy love from money. Love buys love. Love recognizes money. Love recognizes love. You know, if you have a person in your life that you think that they're with you because of your money, that intuitively God is telling you that don't be with them. No. He'd rather you be alone with your money, and then you might find somebody after you do the work. But don't let nobody use you for your money. That's your money. You worked hard for it. Don't let nobody use you. Hell no. Even if you're a millionaire, hell no. That's your money. You know? Who cares if you got to be without a girl or a man till you find the right one? Why would you want to be with somebody just because they're there or just because of sex, but inside they're only there for your money, and you always have to buy them stuff. Like you always have to buy them these big presents, you know, just for them to stick around. That's not love. Love is, I don't care if you got money or not. I don't care if you buy me a box of chocolates or you buy me diamond rings. I don't care. I do care if you spend time with me, babe. That's what I care, you know? I care when I'm sick that you're there for me. I care if I need a glass of water, you're gonna go get me the glass of water. I care about we eat dinner together. And we can eat at home. We don't have to go out eating lavish dinners just because we got the money. No. Save your money because you never know when you're gonna need it. You know? And I'm not saying be cheap about it, no. But it doesn't matter, you know? Love Love is not, a lot of people say love is messy. I used to think that, but now I'm thinking love is not messy. You make it messy. You make it difficult. You judge it. You don't know how to plant the seed right, You don't. Because you want to water it sometimes. You got to water it every single day, guys. Marriage is not easy, but can it be easy? Yeah. If you planted your seeds right, and if you water it every single day, meaning if you work on it every single day. Just because you're married, don't think that you don't want to date your husband. No, date your husband. Still date him, Go out on dates. It's not like your life is over if you're married. You date your husband every single freaking Friday. I don't give a fuck what anybody fucking says. And if you got children, you find a babysitter. And if you can't find a babysitter, you take your kids with you. How about that one? Yeah. Because when you get married, guys, whoever you marry, and I hope you marry good people, when you get married, your first priority should be your husband or your wife. And if your husband or wife comes with children, let's say, and you've accepted that, and you should know about it previously, right? You need to accept their children as your children. If you can't accept their children as your children, then you don't need to be in that fucking relationship. Because many people get married with people with children and they don't want to accept their children. That's a big problem, That's a big problem. If you can't accept their children, and I'm not saying it's their baggage, maybe they were married before, Their children, and regardless how old they are, okay, they can be little or they can be adults with children of their own, let's say. You're going to have to accept in a good way. You can't be like, oh, you have a daughter, oh, you have a son, oh, you have this. No, you're going to be like, you better welcome those kids with your heart. And if you can't, well, I don't know who I'm talking to today, but this is what Spirit's telling me to tell you. If you can't accept your person that you love, his children from his previous marriage, then you cannot be with this person. And he should not choose you. Hell the fuck no. Yeah. You know what I'm saying, guys? If you can't respect his family, then you can't be with him. Yeah. Ask those questions to yourself. Do you respect his family or not? Keep an open mind. And how about if you want to have a baby and you've never had a baby and he's had children, but you want to have a baby, and he should know that you are thinking about having a kid or not, These things should be talked about before you get married, right? Or how about maybe you can't have a baby and he wants you to have a baby. Be honest with him that, maybe you can have a baby, It could be many things, Things have to be talked about. Things have to be brought up, right? And open, right? You know what I'm trying to say? My main thing of what I'm saying is communicate, people. Why is it so hard for people to communicate? I don't understand. Why they don't want to communicate and be honest with one another? Especially when you love somebody, you got to be honest with them. Honest. If you can't conceive, tell them, you know what? I can't conceive, And please don't take that this is my story. I'm just getting examples from Spirit. I'm getting another example. If you have an STD, let's say, this is a good one. If you meet a person you love and you were married before and your husband gave you STD and then you come in a relationship, right? You should tell the person you love, your new person, that you have an STD, that you got it from wherever you got it from. they should know before you sleep with them, because maybe they're like, no, I can't, you know. And you should respect that, though, right? You should respect their honesty, and you shouldn't hate them for them to walk away, you know. Many people have a STD. They do. Are they on medication? I'm sure they are, you know. But are you going to judge them? Are you? Spirit wanted me to talk about this today. I'm just getting downloads, you know. Communicate. If you don't communicate, and then later on you give your wife or your husband STD because your new one, because you didn't protect yourself or you didn't take your medicine, whose fault is that? That's like marrying somebody on a lie, you know? Having a secret. No, tell him or her. Give your relationship a chance. Wedding, yep. Ta-da-da! I love weddings, guys. Yeah. I gotta tell you a secret. I've never been to a real wedding. Nope. Not a real one. Never. Nobody ever invited me. Let's see. Heart-to-heart conversations. And don't feel sad nobody ever invited me. It's okay. I've seen many weddings in heaven. I've seen many weddings in my heart space. I have. Deception. Someone is wearing a false mask in this relationship. That could be, yeah. If somebody's not honest with you on the examples that I brought up, this is what I'm getting. And please don't think this is my story. Please. If it was, I would tell you it's my story, people. You know I'm honest. Somebody who I was watching, a few of you, I'm thinking 7 of you, are ready to get married, right? But this person has an STD, and they're not telling you this because they're scared that you're going to walk away. They're not going to tell you. No. That's a deception. They're wearing a mask. And if you have any doubts, if you have like a little of a doubt, you ask them. You deserve love. Romantic feelings. Ooh. I love this card. Love is so beautiful. You know, I wish I was born in the older generation where people just loved, and if there was any situations, they made it work, you know. They didn't throw you away, you know. If your husband wife had an addiction or got into addiction, or if your husband wife was having a job issue, if your husband wife was going through something, you didn't say get out, you know. You said, you know what, I'm your wife, I'm your husband, we're gonna work it out, babe, and we're gonna work it out because I love you. And if you have a drug addiction right now, go get counseling, go get the help. I'm gonna be right here with you. I'm not gonna send you to drug rehab and then sit here and fucking cheat on you. No, I'm gonna wait for you till you heal, because I fucking love you. That's why. That's the generation. That's my mom and dad's generation, I think, or my grandparents' generation, when you don't give up on the person you love. Because when you take those vows, it's for better and worse, right? You know, it's for better or worse. Yeah. And some people say it but don't mean it, you know? Marriage is a union, you know? And when these divine unions get together, it's like a kingdom marriage. You're both put together for a higher purpose. And maybe you waited all your life to get married, to get to this point, to marry the right person, and you were probably thinking that maybe God don't love you and he doesn't want to help you, and you've been waiting for the right person, and you know, where is your person, because you're tired of waiting, and he's not even coming, or she's not even coming. But God has to do things behind the scenes. Everything is getting orchestrated, you know, for you. God is orchestrating stuff. Angels are orchestrating, putting everybody where they need to be, fixing hearts, you know, healing hearts. God would never want to send you a heart that's broken, you know? He wants to send you a healed heart. A healed heart and a healed heart works. But a broken heart and a healed heart doesn't work. And a big ego and a humble heart never works. If you're humble and you love this guy who has a big ego, it will never work, because his ego will be in the way all the time. His ego. If you're ready to get married right now, then you need to learn, if you haven't. Don't talk from your ego space, talk from your heart space, right? Because when you marry this person, he's gonna be, or she's gonna be, your priority, right? And when you do get married, please keep your business in your house. It's not like you're not gonna have arguments with your husband or quarrels. You will. Nobody's perfect, like duh, right? We're all humans here except me. I mean, I'm an angel, you know that, right? But anyways, I'm just saying, you know, you're gonna have quarrels, you're gonna have, you know, but please don't argue in front of your children, please. You know, my parents did that so many times. I mean, I love my parents, but like the parents that adopted me, it affected me. It taught me violence and anger seeing that, you know? Yeah. It taught me violence and anger, like to get angry fast, you know? So if you do want to quarrel with your husband or your wife, do it privately. Don't ever do it in front of the children. No, that's the worst thing ever, you know? And I was going to say, keep your business inside your house. Don't be getting on the phone with mom. Hey, mom, my husband did this and this and that. And your mom might be toxic. Yeah. You know, here's the biggest thing what we do wrong. We label people like, if it's our mom or dad, well, mom and dad could be toxic, right? They're not always going to be perfect. If they're toxic, then you don't need to be even talking to them. Because a good mother would say, work it out, honey. He's your husband. Work it out, sweetie. Work it out. Work it out. Pray about it. Talk to him. But a toxic mother would say, he said what to you? A toxic mother with a big ego would say, what? You're kidding me. Maybe he's seeing her. Maybe he's coming home late because maybe he has a girlfriend, or maybe he's doing this and that. That's a toxic mother. But a good mom would say, talk it out, honey, and keep your business inside your house. That's what she would say. But we label, like, that's my mom, so she should be the best. That's my dad, so she should be the best. And I learned, just because it's family, it doesn't mean they're family, right? Not all families are good. No, many families are toxic. And for example, I had to leave my family that adopted me, they were toxic. And I didn't care if she was my stepsister or what. I had to leave. That was the best thing I ever did for my soul. Just saying. Finances and career. Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. Maybe your person is trying to make enough money to come towards you to propose to you. This is what I'm getting. This could be your story, or maybe you're focusing on your career more right now, and you have somebody in your life, but it's the right person in the wrong time because you're focused on your career. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. Very soon. Clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. Okay. I'm gonna give you the chills. Oh, my love children. Your love life is being affected by children. Ooh, maybe. Maybe the person you want to marry, you know, has children, and their children, maybe they might not like you. They maybe not like you because maybe you're a little younger than their dad, or maybe they just don't like you regardless of age. They don't like you because you're not their mom, obviously, right? Yeah, that could be it too. That's why we're just talking about everything has to be talked about, openly with you and him. And if you can't communicate with your husband now, you won't be able to communicate with him or her when you get into the marriage. The best thing is to communicate now, because marriage is a big step, and marriage is, I think that the piece of paper messes things up sometimes, it does. Because later on, if it doesn't work out, it just becomes a fucking battle, it does. And honestly, I gotta tell you, this is my opinion, but I'm just saying, that piece of paper is just a piece of paper, right? Marriage. But how do you really feel about your person, Do you want to spend the rest of your life with them? Do you? Or are you marrying them for money? Or are they marrying you for money? How do you know that? Go to God. Go to God and tell God to show you a sign, and go talk to God if you have doubts. But if you have any doubts, guys, that's your intuition saying, don't do it. Retreat. When you meet your person, you're going on a retreat with him or her. And you won't even recognize when you meet each other. You'll say, hello, hello, and you're both going to be nervous. You will be. And you probably won't even talk too much. You're just going to smile like on the airplane, and you're just going to be like kind of shy, I think. This is what I'm seeing. And it's going to be cute though, right? But then when you get to your place, at your destination, you're gonna recognize after you see that house that this person, he built you that house. And the awesome thing is about it, in this lifetime, you're probably gonna build a house together. You're both gonna have enough money to put your two monies together and build your home. And a home doesn't have to be a mansion, guys. It don't have to be a big mansion. It don't have to be a big expensive mortgage. It could be a small little cottage home. Because a home, it doesn't have to be, a house don't have to be a big house, right? In order for it to be a home. What makes it a home is your love that you put in it. That's the truth. And you might think, oh, she just likes small houses. No, I like big houses too, you know. But I'd rather be home with my husband. I'd rather work less. I'd rather him work less. I'd rather him focus on his health. I'd rather me focus on my health and us have a small mortgage than working just to pay the bank and be a slave to the bank because we want to live in a big house, which we won't even use the other rooms. You know what I mean? I'm saying get something you can both afford on your own in case something happens, right? Like something like maybe the girl might pass away, like, you know, you never know. Because you don't want to be stuck with a mortgage and then you lose your home, you know. Buy something you can afford. Like I said, a house is a house, but what makes a home is the love you put in that home. The love and the people you invite in that home. Be careful who you invite in your home. If they're toxic, you tell your husband, this person's toxic, I don't want them in my house. And then you talk about it. Maybe his friend is toxic. Maybe his friend might come in and he might be, you know, starting shit. And I hope your husband picks that up, you know? Because sometimes your own friends, after you get married or before you get married, will plant negative seeds in you where then you will break the marriage and be like, no, I don't want to get married. Or sometimes after your marriage, they might come and visit you and start some shit because they see how happily married you are. Yeah, it happens all the time, you know? And if you feel that, you tell your husband that, you know, and you know what? As a woman, guys, and you might think this is crazy, but I don't fucking care. Like, if I'm home with my husband, I'm happily married with him, and if his friend comes over, I'm not opening the door. I'm sorry. That friend should know never visit our house when my husband's not home. Yeah, exactly. You can come visit when my husband home. Don't come there and wait for him. No. Hell no. Yeah, and if he comes early, he can go wait in his fucking car or sit in the garden back there, but you're not sitting in the house alone with me. No. I don't care how nice his friend is. I don't give a fuck. Because you don't know how men's intentions can change. And you might think I'm negative, but I don't give a fuck. Because sometimes these people could be nice and then they can tell your husband, oh yeah, when you weren't there, I don't know how to tell you this, your wife hit on me, yeah. And you probably didn't hit on him, but they might make that up, right? That's what I'm saying. Exactly. These things were all downloads today, guys. Don't think these are my stories. These are just what I was getting. These could be your story. Sorry this was long. Thank you.